Pleased to be joined by Port Moody's favorite son, Ryan Johansen. Who is the best-known athlete to come from Port Moody?
That's funny because growing up, we moved there when we were 10 years old, and Steve Tambellini and Jeff Tambellini there were three streets kind of down to where we lived, and they were in the second cul-de-sac, and we were in the first cul-de-sac. So, that was the biggest name growing up, and maybe me.
Well, you are now. Yeah, okay. We're thinking it's you.
Where are you from, though?
I'm from Winnipeg.
You're not from Port Moody, right?
No.
Okay. Well, then I got it.
And certainly don't fall into the category of best-known athlete anywhere. We got to get back to Peter Laviolette, the first coach in the history of pro sports to do his post-game debrief with a horse's head on. He was very circumspect about the details as to why he did this. Or is it a bull, actually? It's a bull, not a horse's head. So what was behind this?
Well, we were coming to Alberta on a two-game road trip, and Lavi brought up the bushwhacker, and he brought this mask into the rink and back in Nashville, and he says we didn't really know who it was. I guess it's one of the bulls for professional bull riding that had an unbelievable record or something, and he's like, we're going to go into Alberta and we're going to be the bushwhacker. We're going to take care of business. And then we brought it up to him. We're like, well, if we win both games, you have to wear this in the post-game interview. And he took the bet, and there he is.
Man, he's a pretty serious guy, so good on him for honoring the bet.
You got to respect that.
Yeah, kind of out of his character for sure. He's usually pretty serious behind that bench. But what's not to like about your start right now as a team? He talked about it this morning. He said this team right now, the veteran players like yourself, have really come to play this year, and it's showing in the results.
Yeah, we love our group. We love our team, top to bottom. The depth is our biggest asset, and when we're consistently showing up, we're tough to play against. And starting the season, you want to win the first couple games, and then you want to separate from that 500 record as fast as you can. And because most teams are, it's kind of pretty clogged up there it seems like for the first month usually, and only a few teams can separate and get ahead, and we're definitely off to a great start.
Ryan, you are a big-time, get back to Port Moody for a second, you're a big-time supporter of Port Moody teams. Your Twitter account is full of congratulations to teams that are successful from that city. Do you consider yourself lucky to come from such a hockey hotbed?
Oh yeah, it was a dream come true growing up there. So spoiled being from Vancouver in the suburb there, and anytime I can see what's going on back home and how the young kids growing up are doing, and be a role model for them, and show that I'm taking notice, and because I was in their shoes, and they can achieve their goals, it's always something I love to jump on.
You were off to a hot start this season, but it's something you did in the preseason that got a lot of attention. The Predators are playing in Carolina, game goes to overtime, and you end it, and in the process probably set a record for fastest exit ever. So what was going on here? Were there dinner reservations to be answered, or was that simply a statement that said, my work here is done?
It was the last preseason game, and it was an early game in Carolina, and we had our team function party just to start the kick off the year, kind of, where all management and ownership and stuff, we all get together and have a dinner and stuff. So I just scored and looked in the corner, and the guy was coming to open the gate, and I'm like, perfect, let's go.
That's better than a walk-off home run right there.
Right, yeah.
Overtime goal, see you later.
Philip Forsberg couldn't wait to get off the ice either, because he's right behind you. Tweet from Ryan, who is an angry Preds fan, that's his handle. Is playing with Arvidsson and Forsberg the reason you've been shooting less the past few seasons?
Yeah. I mean, whenever you're playing with shooters and goal scorers, it's definitely something where if I'm drawing some attention with the puck and open out space for them, and it's in their hands in scoring areas, I'm very confident that they can find the back of the net. So. If all three of us are shooting the puck constantly, it's, there's not really going to be much setting up, and in the grade A, we like to call it situations on the ice in front of the net. So yeah, I take a lot of pride in setting up guys, and really the way I view it is what's the best way to score a goal here, and whether I have to shoot it or make a pass, and that's kind of, I just go with the instincts.
Okay, let's deal with the last couple of seasons, the agony and the ecstasy, in chronological order. In 16-17, the Preds are driving to the Stanley Cup final, but in the conference final, you suffer a bizarre injury. What happened here?
Yeah, just, he came to hit me there, and his knee went right into my quad, and as soon as it happened, I was like, ooh, that's going to hurt in the morning. And then I, ended up finishing the game out and stuff. That was in the second period, and ended up going to overtime, and I was literally a shift or two away from going to coach and be like, I'm going to hurt the team here. I got to get off the ice. I can't skate. And then got off the ice, put some ice on it, and then within 15 minutes, I couldn't walk, and it was weird, and they were like, okay. And everyone was like, yeah, we need the ambulance here and stuff. And I was like, this is weird. Like, it's just a Charlie horse. But my leg was just exploding. So, yeah,
I'm guessing it's the first time that you ever heard acute compartment syndrome.
It definitely was, yeah.
Which involves excess pressure on a muscle due to swelling or bleeding, and then emergency surgery.
Right, yeah. No blood's getting to the leg, and then it could get worse from there. So you got to get in there quick.
So post-surgery, you're on crutches. You become a cheerleader. The Predators came close, I think, a minute and 35 seconds away from forcing Game 7 in the Stanley Cup Final, and you might have been the difference in Game 6. How tough was it to watch?
You know what? You can look at it and be disappointed and frustrated. And I, like you said, cheerleader there. I was just totally. I was like, it doesn't matter that I'm out anymore. There's no point in me having any distraction or being frustrated. It's like all about the boys and the guys and being there for them. And so I just embraced it, and I was just rooting for them like a fan really. And they did an unbelievable job, and it was obviously unfortunate coming up short, but it was definitely something we should be proud of.
Louie's got the scoop on someone who was a big influence in your career. Are you
Yeah,
okay?
sorry, I just had to cough then. Yeah. We talked a long time ago when you were a 20-year-old young lad, and you're an established veteran now, but you talked about a player down in Springfield, the American Hockey League, when you were with the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Yeah.
Ryan Craig, there he is right there, how influential he was on your career. A good story for young guys that, he kind of got you straight, and you never looked back from there. Yeah,
I think anybody who's ever met Craig would speak the world of him. He's really as good as it gets, and being a coach in Vegas now, he's super. Those players must be over the moon working under him, and he, for me in my career, what he did was remarkable and showing me how to be a professional and all those things that great leaders do, and I couldn't say enough about him. He's truly one of the best.
So Ryan, last year the Predators go into the playoffs as the first seed, President's Trophy winners, and you run into the Jets in the second round in what was probably the most entertaining series of the entire playoffs. Here's a sample of your work in Game 2 to give the Predators the lead in that game, but the Jets end up taking you out in 7. Not to turn this into a how did you feel as your house burned to the ground interview, but how long did it take you to come to terms with that second round loss?
It was frustrating, yeah, and definitely I'd say it was more frustrating than the year before. We felt like it was our year. We won the President's Trophy, like you said, and we were on top of the world there going into the playoffs, and for whatever reason we just weren't clicking, and I'm not going to say if we were clicking we'd win or do better or whatever, but there's so many great teams in this league, and playoffs is just a crapshoot now, and who knows who's going to come out on top. That that's we've moved on, learned from it, and maybe we were a little too comfortable going in because we were at the top of the league in points and stuff, and we still were a fairly young group, and we still are. And consider us an older group, but we'll take those experiences and make sure, and when we're in playoffs again, we don't make any mistakes.
Okay, back to Port Moody. Can we get enough of Port Moody tonight? You were not exactly a can't-miss product or prospect. In fact, you were the 155th player taken in the Bantam draft. And then only a couple of years later, you
were
a
steal, eh?
Yeah, well, you were. Because then a couple of years later, you were the 4th overall pick in the NHL draft. So what is your message to players who are labeled or not labeled can't miss, which is just about all of them?
Yeah, you just believe in yourself. I mean, that's all I did. I just loved the game so much, and it was just nonstop for me. It was every single day, what can I do to give myself an opportunity for someone to give me a chance to prove myself, and after days in and days out of work, I got my opportunity, and there was no chance I was looking back. I was making the most of it, and I can't thank those guys enough down in Portland, though, Greener and Mike and the ownership that was in there, Billy Gallagher, and you know, they got a special thing going on down there, and definitely gave me the best opportunity to be successful.
Well, here is your prospect profile from
boy.
8 years ago after 1 year with the Portland Winterhawks.
Oh boy.
Name's Ryan Johansen, number 19 for the Portland Winterhawks, and a centerman.
Why would you do this?
What do you think
You're
when you see that?
embarrassing me.
What do you think when you see that?
Come on, man. Look at this young stud, huh?
A lot of hacking and whacking right
Oh,
here.
yeah,
That's
look
what
at
I love
heavy
about
game,
that.
huh?
They're not calling any penalties there.
Okay, let's fast forward to this. Draft
Yeah.
day okay.
That was a tough picture, huh?
2010, Columbus calls your name, and among those, congratulating you. Well, let's listen to the draft pick first of all.
The Columbus Blue Jackets are pleased to select from the Western Hockey League's Portland Winterhawks center Ryan Johansen.
And then among those, congratulating you, your 12-year-old, or was he 11 at the time?
11, I think.
Your 11-year-old brother
Yep.
Lucas.
That's
Look
great.
at him. And who
That's
was to
awesome.
know then that he would grow up to be a first-round
Yeah.
pick, as he was by Washington 2 years ago, 28th overall? How close is Lucas to the NHL?
Yeah, he's one of those young kids, young prospects that you don't need to work with much. He was a lot different than me, and I had a lot of learning and a lot of growing to do. And to me, and which I'm so proud of him and how he started his young career is how professional he is. It's quite unbelievable how he carries himself at his age and the work he puts in to set himself up for success. He he's truly a special kid, and just big time proud of the guy, and he's going to be a long time player in the NHL for sure.
Wants to be like his big brother.
Yeah, he wants to be better than me.
And the Johansen boys give back. Tell us about the Ryan and Lucas Johansen Golf Tournament Charity Classic this summer in support of the Eagle Ridge Hospital Foundation.
Yep, that's our local hospital back home there. That's always got our back if growing up we ever needed some help, and we did a 3-year partnership, and it was truly remarkable. I think we almost doubled the amount raised this summer and they've been doing it for tons of years, and the previous year we almost doubled. So it was something we can build off, and a great experience for all the kids like you see there that were able to come out and meet me and Luke, and a bunch of my teammates came out as well, the local guys, and we look forward to doing it again next year.
Tweet from Kelly Waltz. How much time do you spend at Tootsie's? Kitty corner to the Bridgestone Arena.
Not as much as my friends that come to town.
Have you
that's
ever
for
been up
sure.
on stage is the next question.
PK has.
PK has.
Yeah.
He's been on a few stages. No, I don't think I've ever been up there.
All right, you didn't think we were going to get through this without talking about Ryan Kessler, did you?
I should have known
Okay,
better. I thought we did, but
we're not going to dwell on
you.
it, but the feud goes back to the Western Conference Final 2 years ago, and Kessler apparently is not letting it go because he tweeted you this summer, and this is what he said. Ryan Johansen, how's summer training going? You want to meet me in the streets before we get going on the ice. Your response, a couple of hours later, I'll pay for your parking. Personal feuds in the NHL are rarely this public, and so here's the definitive tweet from Eman Grual. Has Ryan Johansen prepaid Ryan Kessler's parking ticket for when the Ducks come to town, or will he reimburse him after Kessler provides proof of parking?
Oh boy. I like that. I like that tweet because, I'm sure I'm speaking for him too. Like we're having fun with it. When we get on the ice, we're competing, and he's one of the best shutdown guys in the league, I think. And I know if he's going to be all over me trying to get me off my game, and I need to be on mine, and just through our battles through the last few years, we get in our battles and stuff, and I don't think it's any more than that, but we're just both ready to work.
Fair enough. Before we let you go, join the debate. Who's your pick for best player in the NHL currently?
Oh, it's tough right now. It's hard to not go with Crosby. He's just a proven winner, a very consistent leader on that team. But I tell you, it's pretty fun to watch McDavid even. Always look forward, like tonight, playing against him. He's just a special player, and always a very fun challenge to play against and match yourself up against. So Yeah, as of right now, I think I'd still be with Crosby.
You guys did a good job on Connor McDavid tonight. Most people, though, are going with Connor McDavid as the best in the NHL currently. So number 97 of the Edmonton Oilers will join us when we continue with After Hours from Rogers Place in Edmonton. Thanks again, Ryan, for being with us. Appreciate your time.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thanks, bud.